Here we go.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Excited to see everybody. Welcome to Nole News Live. It's crazy times, and we've been learning a lot about technology. And there's a lot of things that we've all been missing, and I've been missing seeing your faces. I certainly wish I could even see them here, but so glad you're here with us. The last time that I had an opportunity to talk about our team was the banquet, and that was exciting. The other thing, though, is that there's no NCAA press conference, and so I figured let's run this thing like an NCAA press conference since we didn't get to have one. I've got Moana microphone here because I've been missing my goddaughter Avery, and she is I just can't see anybody. And so, press conference here, I can go ahead and I can toss it to somebody and have some fun with it. I won't make you listen to what happens when I press this button until a little bit later on. But there's a soccer Zoom that's going to be going on at 6:30, and I know we didn't know that this was going on at the same time until one of you gave us the heads up. And I wanted to make sure that you know that we're not going to be offended at all if you jump off and listen to Mark and what's happening with them. Things are crazy. We've gotten a number of questions from you all, and we want to jump in and try to inform you as best we can. And feel free to use the chat feature, and we'll try to get to as many questions as we can. First of all, a number of you guys have asked about the players that are coming back, the players that won't be coming back. And what I'll say right off the top is I'm absolutely thrilled to let you know that Naja Wolfik has signed to go play professionally in Portugal. And my first ever pro player was Latavia Coleman. And she was another player from South Georgia, and she also went to Portugal. So I know it's going to be a great experience for her. Kaya Gillespie, she waived her right to play in the WNBA this summer. The team will keep her rights, but she'll be going to Israel, and that's really exciting as well for her to be traveling there and playing. And Nikki Ikamu, boy, that kid is, she's special. She would have been drafted, and she decided that she wanted to go ahead and get into the business world. And so she's working on that right now with a lot of different ventures. Io Lopez, who, was in that terrible accident with her scooter, is recovering really nicely. She has a couple of opportunities to go over and play professionally. She graduated this spring. And we're hoping, if her body allows, that she'll be able to pursue a professional opportunity career over in Spain. And then the only other player that is not coming back is London Clarkson. And she decided that she wanted to go somewhere else. She saw the players that we were signing and the players that were going to have an opportunity. And she maybe felt like she didn't have the same, I don't know if it was skill set, but she didn't think that she would have the opportunity to play quickly enough. And so she's transferred to the University of Virginia. So that's a little update with everything. There's some exciting newcomers, and you're going to meet one of them tonight. And I'm going to mention Bianca Jackson, who was sitting her year in residency with us, and she's a transfer from South Carolina. She'll be eligible to play right away. Excited about that. And then two players that were injured last year with ACLs that were, again, just juiced about. One of them you'll see here in a minute on this News Live is Isa Nicoletti Leche, and also Cece Lassiter is gearing up and ready to join us. We've got three other transfers that are coming in. You'll meet Aaron Howard today. Sarah Bajetti is coming in from Arizona State, and Tiana England is coming in as a grad transfer from St. John's. So we've got a lot of players that are really excited about what's getting ready to happen. So with no further ado, I want to introduce 3 players. I don't know who's coming on first, but if we could, there they go. I love it. On top, we've got Isa. And Isa, I want you to tell everybody, like, what and how do you say your last name, and why are there 2 names? I can't hear her, and so we are going to see if we have technical difficulties. Okay, still having technical difficulties with her. So I'm going on to Morgan Jones, and Morgan is obviously somebody that we've counted on big time for the last 2 years. Juiced about her hairdo. I mean, you get to go natural these days, and that's what's so fun. And so Morgan is going to be joining us as well. She's going to be a junior. And then on the bottom, I've got Erin Howard, and Erin is up in Wisconsin right now. And she is going to be coming down here on Monday, which is really exciting. And she's a transfer from the University of Auburn. So Isa, I'm going to go back to you and see if we can hear you now.
No,
she says no. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna let that take care of. So Isa, you take care of what you need to take care of. All right, so we're gonna start out. Question is to you, Morgan Jones, and we like to call you Momo. Yay! Okay, last season. I mean, if we were at the press conference, it'd be different, but last season ended abruptly. All right, and so I want to know what it was like to end a season without an NCAA tournament.
Well, it was pretty hard, obviously. As everyone knows, we made it to the ACC championship and just fell short to NC State, but we were using that game as like motivation and going into the tournament. We had our practices when we came back. We did really well, and we were all just ready to move on past that and just make a big run in the NCAA tournament. And for all of it to end was just it was heartbreaking because like we were really preparing for something big, and we still had faith in ourselves. We still knew that we could do so much more. So yeah, but I mean there's nothing we can do about it, but we're just preparing to do it again this year.
Yeah, and it really is. It was really tough on all of us, and you know what it was like to go to an NCAA tournament and play in one, and we were ready to do some big things, but that'll just have to continue on this year if there is a tournament. Hey, who knows?
There will be a tournament.
So Isa, okay, good. I like that. That's good. Isa, I hear you're with us now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Awesome. Nice. Okay, let's go back to Nicolele Leche.
All right, so back home in Brazil, we pretty much our parents don't get to choose our middle name. Your mother's last name becomes your middle name, and then your father's last name become your last name. So that's pretty much how it goes. And I guess you say leite, which means milk in English. The translation is milk, but that's okay. So yeah, but leite.
And so how's the back of your jersey going to look? What's it going to say?
So I put both. I went for Nicolete Leite. So it's going to be a big name, but I got to represent both of my parents. So
I love it. And then Erin Howard, we've had another Howard that's been pretty successful in our program, and we tried to convince Erin that she could be better than Natasha Howard, and we're so excited. We've put in a waiver to see if we can get her immediately eligible. We're hoping that happens. So yes, Mo, I hear you. We're definitely crossing our fingers for that one. But Erin, you're getting to know your new teammates virtually. All right.
Yeah.
So what have you learned about your new team through these virtual meetings?
I mean, I feel like I've learned a lot so far. Obviously, it's tough right now in these times. Like I want to get down there and like be with the whole team and everything, but obviously can't. But I feel like I've learned like quite a bit about everybody so far. We've been meeting with AIA, it's Athletes in Action, which is like a team building group. and I want to say it was like 5 weeks we met with them, and we've done like a different topic like every week. It was like conflict, how to be a great teammate, vulnerability, how to treat one another, just like topics like that. And then we like broke up into like small groups and like discussed it. So those were like all ways that I really like got to meet like everyone individually and like just really started to learn about the team and the program and everything.
That's awesome. I bet people want to know why you chose Florida State.
Why did I choose Florida State? Well, there was quite a few reasons. Like leaving Auburn, I just kind of wanted like the complete opposite situation. And I like told Coach Sue and like the staff that like from the jump, and I like told them what I kind of went through at Auburn, and then they were like all ears and just very welcoming, I would say, and like they were like straightforward with me and just told me how it was gonna be. And then like a big thing with me, like I wanted a big family feel and like just coaches I could have like a great relationship with and like build with and like trust. And I just felt like I was getting that at Florida State, and really everything else I was like looking for. And then playing in the ACC, of course, I was in the SEC, and then I don't know, I wanted to stay Power Five, and then ACC was just like kind of eye opening to me and just another conference I wanted to compete in.
That's a great answer. And I'm sure the fans are thinking, well, why didn't you recruit her in the first place? I mean, if she's such a good player and she went to Auburn, and, one of the things, I was at the University of Wisconsin before I came to Florida State, and we really never recruited south when I was at Wisconsin because we didn't think they'd come south. And so we really haven't gone that far north very much. And so now we know a little bit better, and we're just glad to have a Wisconsinite. What cheese curds? I don't know if anybody knows about cheese curds, but you need to know about cheese curds. So, Mo, tell me a little bit about what you've learned about Isa and Aaron during these times virtually.
Well, I mean, we learned a great deal about each other. Isa used to play soccer in Brazil. I know
Ooh.
that, and yeah, I'm still getting to know Aaron and a lot of other people, but I think that the team bonding was pretty great, and I just can't get to know more about Aaron when she gets here on Monday.
That's good. And what have you been doing like to entertain yourself during these COVID times? I mean,
Well, I like chilling in my house, anyways, but I watch TV, cartoons. I like to work out. I like to eat. That's really all I've been doing. And I'm in school. I
it
have a
doesn't look like you've
class.
been eating.
So
It doesn't look like you've been eating very much. Show
listen,
me.
I have. You can ask Dave right now.
Ooh, okay.
Just a little bit.
That's
Just a
good.
little
Well,
bit.
yeah, just a little bit. I do know someone that's been working out like crazy. I'm not even going to tell the world, Isa, how much weight you've lost from when you were at your heaviest with the ACL. It's been absolutely incredible. And you haven't been able to go home to Brazil. And tell everybody what that's been like from March to now, dealing with COVID and being here.
I think in the beginning, I was pretty upset. That was the first summer that I didn't get to go home. So my mom was calling me every day and was like, when I'm going to be able to see you. So that was really tough. But I always try to stay positive. One thing I learned going through two ACLs is that, life's going to throw you adversities. Then you just got to get up and keep going. So I feel like COVID is something that's happening with everybody. So I can't just be like, oh my gosh, I can't go home. I can't do this. So I just used that time to work on myself. I was working out like crazy. Like Coach Sue said, I lost a lot of weight. So I keep the numbers a secret, but it was a lot. So yeah, just working on my knee, doing physical therapy at home and all of that. And all I can say is that I'm ready. So I'm excited to be back.
Tell everybody about the workout you did today in the gym.
No, it was crazy. Yeah, so it was really good. I had me, Mo, V, Sammy, us four was in the gym today. And I pretty much we did a whole workout. We had running full car, almost running full car, half car, and we throwing flood passes and V shooting threes, and me and Mo working on our
Woo!
left hand. So it was great. It was amazing. We can't wait for Aaron to join us. So.
That's right. Mo, I want you to kind of share with the folks out there, what can you do right now as far as basketball goes at Florida State?
Like practicing and stuff.
Yeah, what are you allowed to do?
Well, once we get our COVID test and test negative, we're able to use the gym, a couple of us at a time. So on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we're allowed to work out with our strength coach in the training room, and also Tuesdays and Thursdays, the gym is ours for like 2 hours, at least 2 hours, and so yeah, like we just come in on our own and just like Isa said, like we work out together. We make up shooting drills and dribbling drills. Sometimes like I go off on the side, do my own little thing for a minute, and then we all just join each other. So we're really just trying to like just stay sharp, work on things that we would probably work on in practice individually. So we're all just helping each other, stay in good shape.
Mo, a question just came in from our former graduate assistant, Jillian Dunstan, for you. And Jilly is, she has gotten an assistant coaching job at Drexel, and we're so excited for her. We've got a great coaching tree coming from Florida State. But she says, can you believe you're a junior now? Like, how fast has the time gone, she said.
It went really fast. I can't even I can't even put it in words. Like it just seems like yesterday I was just a freshman having my first day of practice, not knowing what's going on, messing up in drills. But yeah, it really flew by really fast. I guess like when you're having fun playing games, that kind of makes everything blow by. But I'm just excited for these next 2 years. I know like I don't want it to go by fast, but I know it will. But I'm just gonna try to just live in the moment and just enjoy it.
Amen. Amen. Well, speaking of COVID, let's kind of gear down a little bit. Aaron, you've been one that, as hard as you work to stay safe, you got to experience this disease we're all talking about. Tell us what it's like.
Well, it sucked. I'll just be honest. I was with my best friend one night and like a couple other people. I probably wasn't being as careful as I should have been, like down the road, but she like went and got tested because where I'm from right now, it's like one of the worst spots like in the country, and like the numbers are just increasing. So she went and got tested and then it came back positive. So then I went and got tested and it came back positive. I got tested on the 26th. I want to say it was a Friday. And like that Wednesday before, I think I caught it Tuesday night. And then Wednesday, I kind of had like a scratchy, like itchy sensation in like my chest and my like throat. On like that Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I kind of like picked up a little cough. So then I was just paranoid, obviously, because like the symptoms. And then my friend had it. And then Friday night, it hit me that I was just tired. I took like 3 naps that day. And then Saturday, felt like I had the flu. Um, it just sucked. Like I was surprised I had symptoms, like hearing everything in the media and the news and everything. You think like younger people our age like don't really get them, but I did, and I kind of had like the worst of it. After like after I had the flu symptoms, like I kind of just felt like I had a like normal cold, and then like started getting pretty bad headaches. But like after that, I just had to like stay in quarantine, and even when the symptoms are gone. But yeah, it wasn't that fun, especially the time is not.
I know very few of us have to go through that. And,
Yeah, definitely.
it was crazy because just communicating with you, and she said, I'm in my room and my parents bring me my food to the outside of the door. And, and that was
Yeah.
about it. That's just
Yeah,
crazy.
we had like a whole set
Well,
of like they had to put a chair outside my door, and then they would just come put like the food on the chair and then leave, and then I'll have to put it back on the chair and then leave my room.
I know. I said, Erin, how do you communicate with your parents? And she said, we talk on the phone. I just thought that was so funny. I know you're living in the same house and you got to talk on the phone. So, well, a couple more questions for you guys before we let you go. First of all, just basketball skill. Yeah, you can all run, you can stay in shape. Basketball skill. How have you done this to get better? And then the mental edge too. What is that like? How do you keep it?
So for me,
Well,
I think
go ahead, Denise. Go ahead.
all right. So for me, I think I always had that drive on me. And because, I pretty much set out for 2 years, I was just ready to do whatever I had to do in this, COVID time. So just, I had an app which I showed Coach Sue, and it's a basketball app and it gave you drills, like ball handling drills that you could do it. So you literally would like videotape yourself and they would give you targets, so you would just like dribble and try to touch the target, and it was amazing. So I think, technology helped a lot, but just, it's something that we everybody have to have, like we're athletes, we know that. So I think we all, the two people that I have here with me, Mo and Aaron, I know they were working their butt out. So I think just, having that mental ability to just keep going. So
Mo, what did you do?
Well, obviously, like when we got home, when the school like sent us home saying that we're going remote, everything was closed. The gyms were closed. Nobody was really having training sessions yet. So I didn't really have a basketball hoop at home. So I ended up actually just buying a basketball goal to shoot on. Yeah, and LA Fitness, where I usually lift at when I'm at home, they were closed too. So I ended up buying a weight bench and some weights and a barbell, just doing all that stuff. So I was doing my own little workouts, and then once they started having like workouts again, I did individual training with my trainer. So yeah, that was for about like a month and a half until I came back, took my test, and was able to come back and use the gym. So yeah, it was very frustrating, but I feel like the physical condition, the mental condition go hand in hand because mentally, like, I'm gonna want to do something. Like, I don't want to feel myself, getting out of shape or just sitting around all the time. So that motivates me to want to do stuff. So, and as far as basketball skills, like I said, like I do stuff that we would usually do here in practice and stuff that I do with my trainer back home. He sends me drills, so I just practice like those dribbling drills with a ladder and everything.
Erin, I'm curious. NCAA rules are the same no matter with what we can do in the summer. Tell everybody what we usually get to do in the summer.
Well, coming from Auburn, we usually like headed down. Schools usually go like towards the end of June, I want to say, and then like have 8 hours a week that we can like do stuff like on the court and like conditioning and all that. So like they'll break it down, usually like Monday through Friday, and then have the weekend off, and you'll do like conditioning like a certain amount of days, and then you'll do like on the court a certain amount of days. But it really like switched up, and it was like, yeah, Monday through Friday every week for through like till about the middle of August or beginning of August.
Yeah, we would be together right now, and that's the thing that's been hard is we have to stay together virtually. And just for the fans, we've given our players the option to be back or to stay at home where they can continue to train. And the reason for that is obviously there's still risks. I think we take great precaution at Florida State with our training center, with all of the different protocols that we have. At the same time, we've already had one of our players who was in our quote unquote bubble and went outside of that bubble and tested positive. And what that does is it stops everybody else. Mo, what was that like?
Well, obviously, when somebody gets it, we're not able to use the gym because they were in the gym at the time. So we all have to they put the gym on lockdown, and then we all got to get tested again. So once our tests come back negative, then we can use the gym again. But like she said, like you go out the bubble, like it's a risk outside. So if you're not careful, it could put everybody else in jeopardy. So yeah, that's really what we have to do. to be able to come back from it. And if we do get it, they have places on campus where you can stay for 2 weeks quarantine while you get better. Then you got to get tested after that. So it's just a lot, but I think the measures in place are very helpful.
And I think
So
it's
too,
it's
something
good.
I would like to
Yes.
oh sorry, something I would like to comment. It's really cool. I was telling my mom how when I came here, I already got tested 3 times, and it's just
Mm.
crazy. It's just like, oh my gosh, like that's so cool that they're being able to provide that to us. Me and Mo, we got tested twice in less than like what, Mo, 4 days, I think it was.
Yeah,
So
less
I
than
love,
40.
how, like, exactly how they're like supporting and giving us the chance of like getting tested to make sure we don't have the COVID. So I do appreciate like everything that Florida State is still doing for us, which is really cool.
Yeah, and their results come back super fast, like in a matter of 3 days or less. So that's very helpful as well.
And what's cool too is that if there's another country that's equally as bad as the U.S. right now, it's Brazil. So her Isa's parents can definitely appreciate that. Um, so I've got a question that just came in from Kristen Hagen, yeah, who you know well, Isa. She is director of our international studies, the program, and she's asking, how do you feel about taking classes online, and does that give you more flexibility to train? So right now you're all in online classes. How do you feel about that? Aaron, why don't you
I love
start?
it.
Well, starting, okay, at first I didn't like it. I was just like, I felt like I wasn't in school anymore. So because I finished up at Auburn and I just kind of slacked off a little bit because you're normally going to class every day, but then it was all online. So like you really have to be disciplined. I'm actually starting to like it a lot now because you can literally just get your work done whatever time just before it's due, like in your bed, like at home, wherever you are. So it's actually pretty convenient now. Because more on your time, and like I said, like you can just do it from wherever. So I'm actually starting to like it quite a bit.
How do you feel about if you were to come back to class and be in a classroom? Any of you guys?
I actually have a class on campus when we
How do you
return.
feel
It's a
about that?
sports. I mean, I've talked to some people that have taken the class. They said it's relatively small, and I don't like to be close to people anyways, like that. So I mean, we'll just see how it goes. I'll be in my own little corner with my mask on. So um, as long as I feel like as long as we're just distance and hand sanitizer, washing your hands, and I think it'll be fine. But I prefer online because I like online in general. But it just really depends on the class. Like I know when we went remote in the spring semester, I was taking statistics, and I felt like I learned better in person than learning it online. Just so like you can see him do the work. But I guess it really just depends on the class, honestly.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Well, let me turn it to basketball here real quick because I have a fun question. Okay, and Johnny, this is going to be the question about the referees. If you'd put that up on the screen, so sometimes it looks as if the refs should call a charge on our opponent rather than a foul on our player. What is that person missing in that picture? If I mean, obviously they like us better, and so they want us to get the call. But what could that be?
I think it can be two different things. It can definitely be the refs, but I think that's not gonna happen this coming up season because we've been literally working so much on defense this past 3 weeks. We have Zoom calls twice a week, and all we talk about is defense for almost 3 hours. So I it can definitely be getting there a little late and then having that call. But I don't know. What do you think, Mo? You're in the game, so what do you think?
Well, it's a few times where I have was dribbling and I felt like they shouldn't have called a charge. I don't know. It just depends. Like Isa said, like it depends on the referee. Like Some of them call it, some don't. I guess it just, I guess it's from their perspective. Obviously, like the fans disagree most of the time, but yeah, that's a tricky one because you never know what you're gonna get. Honestly, you just gotta hope for the best.
And I think that sometimes the officials are cousins with the people from NC State, and so that's why you're not missing anything. So, referees, but there's somebody I miss. I miss a lot of things. But last question for you guys, and I think this is a really timely question. It's from one of our alumni, and she says, how are the current challenges that we're facing in our country, not just COVID, but the other challenges we're facing, impacting the team's ability to stay focused and prepare for the upcoming season? First, talk about the team and what we've been doing in order to address different challenges that we're facing, but also to prepare and stay focused and have a plan.
Easy, you want to start off?
Yeah, I can start off. So I think first of all, Coach Sue and the whole staff does a great job in terms of everything that's happening. They don't just like try to hide from us, but they bring it up to us and they want us to talk about, and they want us to talk about talk with each other and try to understand what is happening and all of that. So I think we've been doing great. We had a lot of Zoom meetings where we just talk about the challenge that's happening and things that we can do to help each other. So I think as a program, FSU does a great job, but not just like trying to hide and be like, no, it's okay, we're fine, it's not happening in a little bubble. But they bring the problem to us and they make us talk about and understand the challenge. So
Yeah, I definitely agree. I feel like I have a lot of other friends that play at different schools, and I feel like compared to them, we've had a lot of support and a lot of real support, not just oh yeah, this is happening, how are you feeling? But it's like we just have, they just get it. They just understand what's going on. They realize that we, like, a lot of us are African American, and like we experience the stuff that's going on in the world today. So I feel like they really sympathize with us, and they want to help in any way they can. So I think that's really been amazing. A little bit of organizations I'm in on campus, we're trying to raise awareness as well. Just getting involved in getting people to vote, encouraging people to vote. Just doing the little things, signing petitions, donating, all stuff like that. And I just feel like sports in general, there's so many people like standing up for what's going on and raising awareness. Like I know like some of the NBA and WNBA players are having victims' names on their jerseys, so I think that's really huge. I feel like we as young people are getting a lot of things done. I know in Mississippi they're getting rid of their flag. They're just making a lot of changes. Talking about renaming things. So I think that as athletes, like we can use our platform to help make a difference in the world.
Aaron,
Yeah, and
how go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I definitely agree with both of what they were just saying. Like, we've been talking it a lot, like within the program, and like meeting with people and just like discussing everything and like trying to open other people's eyes. And then I don't really think it's like affecting how, I mean, a little bit of how we're staying focused because obviously, like, it's on our mind and everything, but more of like what Morgan said, like just trying to use our platform that we have as student athletes and like just bring awareness to everything going on and try to make a change.
Thanks, guys. I feel like it's really important that as a white person that I share as much as I possibly can to protect what's going on systemically. I don't want to spend a lot of time with what every issue is. I think more than that, I want to honor the Black and brown people of color in our program. And Isa, if you think about it, is she brown? Is she white? Is she? And these are the things that I think a lot of times we in our country we don't pay attention to. And certainly it's something that I love talking about because of how much I care about these young ladies and what they've gone through that a lot of us don't ever have to see or go through. So please, they've talked a lot about being open and willing to talk and to share some of that, as I am as well. Well, you guys are rocking, and I see one last question that I am going to asking. Well, I will address that on my own because it's about Coach Tolles, and they don't know her very well at this point. So I will address that one as well. And anything else you guys want to say to our fans and help them to stay positive during this time?
Y'all are the best.
Just
That's all I can
yeah,
say.
you guys are the best. Keep supporting us, and hopefully gonna have a season, so you guys will be able to come back and cheer for us, and we're excited about the future. So
Awesome. You guys, thanks so much. Aaron Howard, Morgan Jones, and Isabella Nicoletti Lete.
yeah, that's
Say it
pretty
again.
good.
Lete. Milk. Isabel Nicoletti Milk. Thanks, you guys. We'll see you soon.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, now it's just me. This is going to be interesting. So I have a question here about our new coach, and I want to share with you. I'm so excited. So JC Carter, who joined us a couple of years ago, has done some great things for us and really has been a plus for our program. The thing that always was hard for me with JC was his two boys live in Missouri, and he just didn't get to see them very much. So when the opportunity came for him to move 5 hours from his boys and become an associate head coach, it was a no-brainer. He wants to be a head coach, and for that, he needs to be an associate. And with Brooke Wyckoff and Joy McCorvey in line, probably wasn't going to happen in the time that he wanted it to here. So I think he made a great move. I'm excited for him and his family, and extremely excited to have Morgan Tolles back with us. She graduated in 2013. Came to us as somebody who was already extremely intelligent about the game, also an Auburn transfer. And a lot of story about her. Love to talk to anybody about it. She came with a lot of energy and took us a lot of places, stayed on as a graduate assistant, was able to go to an Elite Eight and a Sweet 16 with us, and has been doing a phenomenal job at Kent State. And so I love having former players. I think that's really important. And so having somebody who's had the great experience and has amazing references is really exciting. We also wanted someone who was going to have experience at the point guard spot. We have a great core of point guards. A lot of them have been injured. And so Morgan has gone through that as well. But, Brooke, having been a big wing and excellent player in her day, Joy McCorvey being a post player, we felt like it was important to bring in somebody that had played that point guard position, and Morgan's been perfect. So really excited about that. Do want to talk a little bit, some of the thoughts and questions you guys have is the likelihood of having a season and what that looks like. And it's been a little frustrating to go day to day, I will say. Sometimes I wish we would look at worst case scenario and then try to find something positive day to day instead of planning for what we hope is the best, and then we don't get that. We had hoped that we would be able to come back in June to be able to work out as a team. That didn't happen. We then hoped that we could come back in early July, work out as a team. That didn't happen. The NCAA finally said, you know what, it's okay to come back and start working out as a team July the 20th. They did that because they want football to be able to work out earlier, which I totally agree with. Their season is coming up, and we hope again to have a football season. For me, we don't know if we're going to start our season on time. We don't know what it is, what the repercussions are for the long-term issues that we could have if somebody gets COVID. And so we feel like it's probably best that we wait to have team workouts. We feel like it's best for our players to keep them safe, and when they get together, it's in small groups. So that's one of the things that's been going on. What should you guys expect? And I get something called the D1 ticker, the Division I ticker, and every single day something changes. I got a text today from my nephew, and he said, "Hey, did you see that FAMU just canceled their football season?" I hadn't even seen that yet. I guess the MEAC has canceled all fall sports, as have other conferences. What does that mean? What does that mean for basketball? Nobody knows. It's obviously a very tough question that nobody has the answer to, because we need to have finances in order for us to operate, in order for these young people to have this opportunity. And, I don't know what that's going to look like, but I am excited about finding a way to make sure that Florida State comes out of this better than any other program comes out of it. Whether it's, we're not going to do this. We're not going to be able to do this until the spring. We're not going to be able to do this until January. I want to make sure that we're safe and that we are working with you to make sure that we can economically stay relevant. And you guys have been so generous, and we've got that opportunity to make sure we continue to recruit, and we make sure that we continue to take care of these young ladies and grow them as people first and students second and athletes third. I think going along with that, some questions, what's the status for our athletes from other countries? I think what you guys saw is the president make a really bold statement that he then turned back on, and it had us worried with some people, with Savannah Wilkinson, who has been here all summer, also in the same shoes as Isabella Nicoletti, where she wasn't able to go home. Was she going to be able to stay and play basketball if we didn't have in-person classes? Because some of you don't know, but if you're international, you are required to take in-person classes in order to stay in the country. And so there were a lot of nervous people that were going through this. We have another transfer that's coming in, Sarah Bajetti, who is from Finland. And right now, in order to get to the United States, she is right now in Istanbul, Turkey. She and some of her friends who are going to other schools flew to Turkey, staying there 14 days, and then can fly from Turkey to the United States. That's how much she wants to be here. That's how much that her parents trust what we're doing here at Florida State. And we want to make sure that we are providing the best education that we can in the safest environment that we can. And so all three of our international students will be with us and be in good shape. Sarah will have to sit this year out in residency as a transfer from Arizona State. And as I mentioned, we've applied for a waiver for Aaron, and we'll see if that goes through. Will the team be tested for COVID frequently? What's the protocol for that? That's a great question. I think you heard from Isa that they are tested, but they're not tested like the Major League Soccer, where it's every single day, or what's going on with $150 million NBA bubble. How is that going to work? We don't know, but they are spending a lot of money testing in order to try to make sports happen. What will we need to do at Florida State right now? They have to be tested. They have to be cleared. They have to wear masks in the facility, and they have to be responsible. And being responsible really is about making sure you stay with small groups of people that are also negative, that they've tested negative. What happens if somebody tests positive? And what happened with our men's basketball team is they had somebody that tested positive. Then when they turned around, there were many more that tested positive as a result of being with one young man. And it's very contagious. And so we don't know as coaches, we know that the players are going to stay in their bubbles. We know that going to college is an awful fun thing. And all of you guys that went to college, you probably went to a party or two. You wanted to hang out with your friends, but you don't know where those friends have been. And so it's going to be very difficult, even when they do come back, to make sure that we stay really focused in that. Another question I had was, will all the games be live this season? Well, they might all be live, but they may have no fans. My neighbors are season ticket holders and asked, what do we do about season tickets? Honestly, I say, buy them. We need to stay where we can operate. But do I think you're going to be able to use them? I'm not sure. And if so, who would be able to come? How many seats apart would you have to sit? All of those things right now are going to be tested, I think, with these other sports that are going on. The WNBA starts in a bubble here on Saturday. The first games, Natasha Howard is playing at noon in the very first game of the WNBA. They're playing at a prep school that's down in Florida. And it'll be interesting to see how that comes together. Update on recruiting. I just want to tell you it's going extremely well. We've got some great players that we're looking at. We won't settle, just like last year. We won't settle unless we feel great about them because of the new rules and the way that the transfers are working. What a lot of coaches say, you can get old and stay old, and there's nothing wrong with that. Experience is huge. And so having experience, we love. And I've had great experience with transfer students before, and I love to continue that prospect. But we've got some that are really close to being committed, and we'll keep you posted. You'll be able to see that as that comes here in the next month or so. Did we lose anybody because of the cuts to the AD budget? And I think that is an extremely sensitive subject, but it's very real. You saw that the athletic department cut 25 positions. And that's just the athletic department. At Florida State, yes, with our basketball program, a GA position was cut. We are still hoping to have one graduate assistant that will be joining us. We haven't been cleared to hire that person yet. We've had some positions that have been trimmed. We didn't lose the full-time position, which is really important. The position may have been trimmed some in a couple of cases. And there's going to be some things that are happening in order to continue to try to cover the budget. We've also taken our budget and we've trimmed it 20% so far. We felt like we were in such a great place in the spring. David Coburn had done such a good job of restoring us to a place where we felt whole. And then our friend COVID came, and we all know that nobody is now. And that's, a difficult reality, but it definitely is a reality. Couple more questions that I got, an update on when the workouts are going to start, what the new protocol is, how many students can be present during a workout. And again, we are not going to require our players to be back until the start of school. And then we are going to look at what's happening. We look at Florida and we know that the cases are rising. And I believe that because we're in a college town, because students are going back to school with elementary, middle school, and high school, that there could be a spike. And we are going to be very careful, again, because we want to make sure that safety comes first. I don't know if any of you remember, but when I was coaching back in 2008, I had a player that had an undiagnosed disease called Marfan syndrome. And I got a phone call in the middle of the night after watching her play pickup the night before. I got a call in the middle of the night that she had passed away. Nobody knew that she even had Marfan's. It's a very hard disease to detect. I've never been through anything so terrifying, so heartbreaking in my life. And to think that there could be someone on my team that had an underlying condition and I would put them in harm's way is devastating, a devastating thought for me. And so having that history, Coach Bowden and I both went through that 2 years apart, when he had a player that had sickle cell. And we want to make sure that we have everything that we need in order to have a safe environment for these players. I'm going to skip about Morgan Tolles because I think most of you guys had a chance to see her here. She graduated in 2013, and she is one of the most creative, funny individuals that I've been around, but extremely serious. I think she drove her sister out of basketball because when her sister was 9, she trained her like she was a college athlete. And so I think she's very serious. She's already had FaceTimes with most of our players, and Isa already got her on a call for an hour and has set up her individual workout with her for Monday. So she's very serious, and we're excited to have her, the energy she brings. You're finally going to get to see Isa this year, and that's going to be the exciting part as well. Another question about Tiana England. And Tiana is a grad transfer. And what a grad transfer means is that she has immediate eligibility. She tore her ACL her freshman year at St. John's and then came back to be a 3-year starter and all-conference player at St. John's. We played them her junior and senior year, or I guess her sophomore and junior year if you look at it redshirt status. And Tiana is a lot like Morgan Tolles as a player, extremely selfless, a great leader, and somebody who's going to put us in great positions. So we're excited to have her. She's from Connecticut, and one of the things, she wants to be here. At the same time, she had a grandfather who passed away from COVID this summer. And so it's scary. It's scary for her. It's scary for her parents coming from Connecticut. And we want to make sure that she feels like we're taking care of her in the best way possible. The last question that I have that was sent in, and if anybody wants, well, it's about that time, maybe a time for 1 or 2 questions. But the last question is about our offensive and defensive plans, and do we have any ideas about the changing them? And I think offense and defense is going to change. I thought we played terrible defense last year, and it was something that we knew we could score. We were one of the top scoring teams in the country, and I had a couple of players that I didn't think were interested enough, and I thought that maybe trickled down into our team. We were able to win in some ways, but not in the way that I like to play defense, and that will be something. You heard them talk about the time that we've been spending on Zoom talking about defense. Offensively, we lost our 3 leading scorers, extremely talented players that could score one-on-one, and that's yet to be seen. We've got a lot of great players that are still, ready for their time, and that's what I'm excited about. The best teams I've had are teams that had 5 players that scored in double figures, and I'm believing that will happen again this year. And I do have a hope for in-season attendance. I do. I am going to I'm not going to sell it like it's going to happen. I don't know. And we can look at it and say, worst case scenario, it's not going to happen, but pretend it is, and we'll get these things online to you. And if you can continue to support us financially, that would be huge. We are in tough times. College athletics are extremely important to the growth of young men and women. You can ask any of them, and already they're missing things that they know that basketball brings. So if you have any other questions and we didn't get to them, please email them in. I love to talk to you. I wish I could see you, and hopefully we'll have an opportunity to see each other soon. But I do want to say that right now, family matters most, and make sure that you are careful, you take care of your family. Lives are extremely important. And so please take this COVID seriously, and, again, take care of the people that you love the most. Love you guys. Take care. Go Noles.